Cat and Dog Attitudes, Living to Make God Famous. So the whole premise behind this is the type of attitude that a dog might have and the type of attitude that a cat might have in a given situation, and how we should be more, spoiler alert, dog-like in different situations. So this whole set comes with several books, and it is Christian based. It's all about character and missionaries. It tells you what to pray for. So this right here is the workbook for the kids. And there is a Parents Guidebook, which will tell you what pages to do in all the other books, as well as what questions to ask and the conversations to have and what to pray for. And there's also like looking things up on maps, for example, with this book here, because this is all about modern day missionaries and things that are going on around the world, and different situations and testimonies, amazing testimonies. Some of these, it's pretty amazing. It's been really good. So, but it will tell you, oh, look it up on a map, see where these people are from. So I really like that too, that geography is included. And then there are these 2 cartoon books, which are great. This one shows different situations, and it'll have the cat's response and the dog's response. And then this one here, because he liked it, is a cartoon that shows facts about different kinds of animals, things that they do, ways that God has made them. And the whole idea is, why did he do this? Because he liked it. So I really liked that. We ended up, I'm just not super structured with stuff. So doing the guidebook ended up being a little too much structure for me. I'm sure it would be great for somebody who likes structure, or just it was a good way to get us started. But then I just kind of got into my own groove where I was reading the testimonies and also just reading from these. We would just read through a few at a time. And these books alone are great resources. So let's take a look inside. Time for a real page turner. Cat and Dog Attitudes, Living to Make God Famous, as opposed to living to make us famous. So I think we'll start with the Parents Guidebook, because this will give you an idea of how it's set up. In here they have it broken down by days. So their suggested schedule will be 3 days a week, and it shows you the lesson number that would correspond. And here it's giving you the different topics. Lots of really great topics. Loving my siblings, loving others, obeying my parents. And it has lots of them. So you could even skip around in here too if you wanted to follow the guidebook, but you really want to just focus on a certain theme. And then here's some other faiths as well. At the beginning, this is the theme song that they're singing, and it does come with this audio CD. The theme song was primarily a woman's voice, but with kids singing with her. For me, it wasn't super catchy. Like, I could see my kids maybe listening to it, but not necessarily memorizing it. But depending on how your kids are, how much they like to learn songs, they could love it. So, okay, so here, this shows you week 1. Here's the teaching. It's pretty scripted here, asking questions as you go. Then they introduce the memory verse and a theme song. They tell you when to play the CD. Praying. And the workbook. Then an optional activity, like here you're making up hand motions to go along with another song. Okay, so now we're still in week 1. This is the second lesson. So here again it tells where to go in the workbook, what to read from the cartoon books. Here you're looking up I Ran on a Globe, and then it tells you exactly what chapter to read in this other book, I Heard Good News Today, which has the testimonies and stories of missionaries. It tells you what to pray for and asks discussion questions. And then this would be week 1, day 3, children's workbook again. Again, reading in the I Heard Good News and looking up a country on a map. And then some discussions and the other cartoon books. So you can see it's laid out really straightforward, and especially if somebody loves scheduling, like this will just tell you exactly where to turn. So, and the whole thing is set up just like that. Prompted discussions, prayers, mapping. So, okay, and then the other things on this audio file, they did have, it says Miss Elise in Nature, and then some nature sounds. So here it was kind of listening to different animal sounds and then saying how, like, instead of thinking of those animals as just making a noise, we can think of them as praising God or doing what God's created them to do. And then the choruses to identify, they had some different lyrical songs. So I'm assuming that they would tell you in the parental guidebook when they are expecting you to play those for your kids, and your kids are identifying maybe if it's a cat or a dog attitude going on. And then at the end, the theme song with the music only. So we really haven't used this much, and maybe I would have them listen to it, but also maybe not. I feel like the stronger things are these other books that are included. So here is the children's workbook, which you'll see questions, nice wide writing for the kids, for little fingers. So just simple answers that they can write down. And then it includes other cartoons that they can color in. And these cartoons do correspond to this book, the 102 Differences Between Cats and Dogs. So they'll see it in here, and then in here they can either remember what the dog was thinking or write their own thoughts on it too. So it's all set up pretty simple and similar there. It is neat, all the different countries that they're covering. Okay. And then this book, which this book we did more as a read aloud. I heard good news today too. This has at the beginning a tree of the different names of people that you're going to read about in here and how they impacted each other, which is really cool. The only thing that was kind of difficult is that they're not in order. So, we read about the first guy and then read about the next guy, and then we're reading about some other people. And so it was hard to really follow the tree, but it was very interesting to look back and be like, oh, remember that first guy? And he talked to this guy. And so to talk about that a little bit was neat to relate them together, but it definitely got overwhelming with it jumping around. And then here's a map over in Asia where they're pointing to some of the countries that have been talked about in these stories. And here are all the chapters. There were some incredible stories. I definitely cried through some of them. We were amazed through some of them, seeing what God is doing and what he has done in people's lives. They're not super long, so you'll see, it'll have a heading at the top, and then it'll be a page or a couple page. I mean, it talks about some deep stuff. You can see here the overdose. I mean, it gets into some, considering how this is kind of written with big pages for little fingers, this goes pretty deep. So depending on the age of your kid or what you're open to talking to them about right now, I mean, this is going to talk about death and persecution and, even suicide, things like that. Just people really having a hard time. And, but it's good. It's very good. It's a good book. So that's what that looks like. And on to the 2 cartoon books. Now, like I said, the way that I've been doing it, I have not used the children's workbook because I don't do any extra busy work for my boys. It's enough for what we do with our regular schoolwork. And then because of that, I haven't really been utilizing the Parents Handbook as much as I've been reading the testimonies and missionary stories in this, and then using the 2 cartoon books. So this one, 102 Differences Between Cats and Dogs. And, of course, spoiler alert, we're supposed to have a dog attitude and want to serve God and not have God serve us. So these have been good, and they've opened up good discussions with my kids, and it is interesting to think of what sort of attitude we pick through the day, because everybody gets to pick their attitude. Stuff's going to come up that we don't like. Spoiler alert again. And it's really just how we face it that matters. And then this one is because he liked it. So this is more science and animals, and it will give little facts and interesting things about animals. And always at the bottom, it's like, why did he do it? Why did God do that? Because he liked it. So just lots of neat things. So this has been really interesting too. All right, well, hopefully you found value in this, and maybe one of these resources will be a good fit for you and your family as well. Remember that real life is messy and beautiful, and better with books. Okay, and I think I'll try that again. Animals and... Good boy, come here. I know I never let you get up, but come here. Yeah, good boy. Oh, that's a good boy. Snuggle, mama. Yeah. All right, smile. Good boy. Yeah. Good boy, Timber. Smile. I love you. You good puppy. Thank you. You good boy. Yes. Good kisses. You good dog. Mwah. Yummy. All right. Prayer to go number 11. Where is that? Huh. Prayer to go number 11. I don't know what that is. Prayer to go.